Hey y'all, Grandma Rose here. As you can see, I'm a woman of many hats. I've got two hat racks right there. You know, drying some goldenrod. Drying goldenrod there, and I have some goldenrod over here in this box right here that I picked the other day. Getting ready to put that up, do something with it. If it's not completely dry, I will put it in my dehydrator. But I think this is pretty much where I want it to be. So I didn't have any place to hang it. They say to hang it in a dark place. You don't want to hang it in the sun, so this is where I have it hanging. But I wanted to talk to you today about my cat box. It's a rainy day. It's been raining for a good hour or more. I said just a brief shower, but this is a little bit more than a brief shower. And we can always use rain. Some of the parts of the country, and I hope you don't live in these parts of the country, have had too much rain. But where I live, we've had quite a dry spell, and we've needed the rain, so I'm happy with it. We usually get an inch or so of rain a week, and we haven't had that in a long time. So I'm happy to get the rain. We need it. But I wanted to show you my cat box. After I've shown you a little bit of my utility room. It's a utility room, y'all. But it's not that bad. I've got shelves. I have things relatively organized. I'm a relatively organized person. But then I've got boxes stacked up. This box right here has the goldenrod drying in it. And then there's some boxes right there that I'm saving because they're a good size to mail things in. And over there next to the wall, you can't see, I'm not going to get over there and show. I see another hat. But there's, I've got bird netting and some other things in a little basket. And on the wall, I love this thing. I got that it's sold, I think I got it at Lowe's or Home Depot someplace. It's for garages, but it's wonderful for storing cleaning supplies on the wall up out of the way. More things, you know, cornmeal. I couldn't throw that away. I knew I was going to use that someplace. Just cleaning stuff. That red bucket right there, it's a flower pot. Plastic pot. Needs to be outside, but it's not. I've got to think of what else do I have in it. There's other stuff that needs to go out. This plastic shoebox, I have holes drilled in it that I start seeds in the spring. And these are some garden supplies that I always have right here at hand. And some wood and some brackets, and who knows what you're going to find in here. All kind of things. Buckets, more buckets of paper that needs to be burned. Over there. More paper that needs to be burned over there. And the dog, of course. And next to the dog is my bag. This is what I'm using for my cat box. You see this? Well, this is laundry. So there's my cat box. Well, that is not my cat box. Inside this is fine wood shavings. You see this? So instead of the coarse wood shavings, you know what I'm talking about, like you use in the chicken coop. This stuff it's fine. And you can scoop it. I'll show you that in a minute. So this is what when I mentioned using my cat box and dumping my cat box outside to compost, this is what I'm talking about. And because this is so fine, come over here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I have just in here cleaned my cat box, so it's okay to do this. I just have an inch or so of the pine shavings in here in the cat box. And here's my scooper. Let's see. You can sift it. Put this back up here. That's what this stuff is in this bucket. I've got these are things that we all need, right? Then here on the floor, it's my laundry detergent. And a gallon of distilled water. A walking stick. I know. We all have these things. Garbage can. Right now, this is my pantry, or what is, plus the boards. The boards are going to be my pantry. And that's it. Do you want to go out, buddy? Okay, want to go out? You don't. What's out there? We'll come back in a minute. Keep you out of the way. I'm thinking about Doug and Stacy. Do y'all watch Off-Grid with Doug and Stacy? They're one of the biggest homesteading channels out. And if you don't watch them, you should watch them. And I don't watch them every day, but I do watch them periodically. And I wish the dog would stop barking. But I do watch Doug and Stacy. And Doug and Stacy talk about their composting toilet and how they use sawdust and then are able to compost their human waste. Humanure is one of the things that you can call it. So they're composting. They have made their composting toilet using sawdust, and then they cycle several buckets, and then they dump it and have a separate compost pile of their human waste in sawdust, and it composts, and given enough time, it's safe to use. Well, I decided after seeing them and thinking about it and thinking about the money that I was spending, how much money? $45? It costs up to anywhere from $10 to $15 a bucket or a box, depending on what grades you get, what kinds you get. And with 5 cats inside, I was going through a lot of cat litter. I was at least 3 buckets a month. So that's, if it's at $15 a bucket, that's $45 a month. It's like toilet paper, but worse than toilet paper, you know? So you go through a bunch of it. You can't do anything with it except throwing it away. You have to throw it away because you can't put that clay in your garden. So I got to thinking about Doug and Stacy and thought, why not? I'm going to try it and see if it works. And it did. So my cats are happy with it. And here's the result. Right there is what I dumped out. I haven't done anything with it yet. I just dump it in a garbage bag. It's a kitchen garbage bag. Dump it in a garbage bag, and I'll take it out and I'll compost it someplace. I mean, sometimes, like a rainy day like today, I won't say that I do it in a garbage bag every day, but this needed to be changed, and I wasn't going to go out in the rain and wash this out and do all this stuff. So I took my cat litter, I dumped it in the garbage bag, and tomorrow when it's not raining, I'll go put it someplace. Right now I have not started a separate compost pile for it. I'm using it around shrubs and trees and around areas that I'm not growing vegetables, because I'm not quite sure that I want to use it in my vegetable garden yet, even though I know I have scooped all of the solid waste out of it. So what this is essentially is just pine shavings. This is with the variety, or the bag that I've got is pine shavings, and I'm sure there are other kind of wood shavings out there, but it's pine shavings and urine. It's just nitrogen. People use urine in their garden without a problem, so I probably think it's probably okay to use this in the garden too, but it would need to compost for a while because the nitrogen is so strong in it that you wouldn't want to put this directly in your garden unless you were growing lettuce and cabbage and things like that you didn't want to flower. Anything that has flowering fruit, tomatoes and bell pepper, and we'll say broccoli even, broccoli and cauliflower, and eggplant and squash and cucumbers and all of the things. You know what? Anything that we eat their fruit or the flowers, then you wouldn't want to put a high nitrogen fertilizer on it because that will produce lush growth. So this essentially is a high nitrogen fertilizer. And given enough time, I think it would be safe to use in the garden. So I am saving approximately $45 a month and creating compost. instead of throwing it in the trash. And I think that's kind of a win-win situation. So it doesn't bother me that much. And did I mention how much this bag cost? Okay, right there next to my laundry basket, this Green Tree brand pine shavings. And I don't know if that's a national brand or if it's local. But it is a fine ground pine shavings. And it cost about $6.50. Maybe $6.95. Anyway, it's less than $7 for a bale of this, like this, or a big bag of it. And this bag lasts me a full month or maybe even longer. So, you know, from $45 for something I was throwing away to less than $7, something that is going to last me a very long time, I just don't see anything wrong with it. And if you want to continue to use your clay litter, that's fine. But this is working for me, and if you want to try it, I highly recommend it. Now, I have used the coarser pine shavings that like you use in a chicken coop or other places. Didn't work very well. The cats tolerated it, but they weren't as happy with it as they are this. And they took to this immediately and are very, very happy with it. So let me let the dog in. Kai, do you want to come in? Kai, you want to come inside? You want to come in? Kai, are you happy on the porch? You want to stay out there? I think he's enjoying being out there. So instead of ending with the dog coming in the house, I'll just say bye. Bye, y'all. See you next time.